Today I am finally working on my shed. This has been a long time coming. If you've been following along on my backyard work this summer, I need to get rid of this old shed. It's not just that the roof is collapsing, it's that it's completely useless design, which doesn't allow me to store anything in it. Today we are going over to the design that I'm going to build, as well as making a strong foundation so this thing can stay standing. So, what am I going to do? I am going to build my dream. A gigantic 2-car garage to be a huge workshop. My dream has died, guys. I have been informed that I am not allowed to build such a monstrosity. It is ridiculous, I know. So, I've revised my dream. I am going to build a new shed. Exciting! And it's gonna go here. Now, those of you who have been following me for a while know that I end up going a bit overboard. This is no exception. Let's talk about this quote-unquote shed. I try to build nice sheds. Every time I do, people tell me they're too nice just for a shed, but let's be real. You stare at them all the time when you're in your backyard, so they might as well be nicer than your house. So that's what we're gonna do. I started searching for a Zen shed. Why Zen? Japanese gardens are awesome, and they usually have pretty cool timber frame style sheds. What I eventually found was this. It's from a timber frame company that makes packages during COVID. It's not a shed, but I figured if I closed in this area here, it could be. Now, I wanted to give back to you guys for following my channel. So if you're interested, here's what we have planned for this series of videos. I'm going to go over the construction of the shed in detail, hopefully releasing videos consistently, unless editing gets in the way, showing step by step how I build this. Then I'll put out a full set of plans for the shed so you can build it yourself. Interested? Put a comment down below and let me know you're interested in plans. Also, ask questions. I come back and try to answer all of the constructive questions posted on my videos. So, design. Here's what's planned. I am limited to a shed that is 100 square feet without getting a building permit. Nominally, that's a 10 by 10 or 8 by 12. 8 by 12 fits what we're doing better due to this tree and this fence, so that's what it's gonna be. Let's take another look at this inspiration photo. I wanted 2 zones in this shed, and this kinda lends itself to that. So this is what I came up with for a layout. The main locked area is gonna be my main storage for things like lawnmowers, boxes of nails, vintage saw wheels, spare car parts, you know, the things that are so valuable and rare that people are gonna wanna steal them. This side area is going to be the things that I don't want to have locked up because I don't want to have to bother getting my keys to get them out. Currently, that's the cushions for outdoor furniture that we never put out, and things like shovels. I figure the easiest way to have this type of layout is to build a shed with 2 sets of doors and then just build shelving units that connect and create a partition. Easy. I really like this roofline detail on the inspiration. I think the best way to do that is to design this like the main shed is actually square and then have 2 narrower sides tacked on. You'll notice that the roof is pretty steep. I did a bunch of sketches, and for the dimensions of the shed, a 12 and 12 slope looks best. A 12 and 12 roof adds a lot to the height, so instead of a full 8-foot walls, I am going to shrink it a little bit. I know it's going to be pretty tall, so if you're going to go use the plans, check to see if you're allowed to build a shed this tall. It does give some amazing storage for bins, or wheels, or classic car parts, you know, the essentials. Alright, roof design sorted. How do we get into this thing? I like the shed-style doors for the cushion storage, and they're easy to build. Since it's unlocked, I don't have to come up with a secure way to lock French doors. For the main door, I don't like that look. You know, rectangular. Boring. So what we're doing instead is a ridiculously nice curved top door. From scratch. I hate myself already. Finishing-wise, I want to do a traditional stucco, but I have the feeling it's going to be too cold when I get to that point, so I'm just going to use painted LP SmartSide cedar panels. I'll trim those out with a regular old corner detail. Soffits are going to be tongue and groove boards, and my colors are going to be some form of off-white and brown for that Zen vibe. So let's get into this. To start off the real work of this project, I needed to clear out the area at the back left corner of the backyard. This area was basically flat, but I did need to take out all the grass that was there. I wanted to keep the shed as low as possible, so a few inches of dirt did need to be removed. I started using a shovel, then decided that was ridiculous, so I used my track loader that I bought for moving gravel. It worked amazingly, to my shock. We have the subgrade prepped. Now we're gonna bomb a whole bunch of gravel in here. I have some retaining blocks coming that are gonna line the back so that I can fill that in with dirt. They're gonna come 12 inches forward. There's gonna be some on this side to retain that dirt over there, nothing on that side. So we have open graded gravel for this, the same that we use for the deck. So that's gonna all get bombed in now. Quickly throw down some landscaping fabric in here. The landscaping fabric is mainly to stop the gravel from mixing with the dirt underneath it. That way, if anyone ever wants to remove it, it's easy to do. I had this sitting in the garage, so I thought that I might as well use it. Once the fabric is in, I needed to move about a cubic yard of gravel from the front driveway to the backyard and spread it out. Okay, we got all the gravel in. So now what I need to do is level at the back over there, all the way along the back, and the side here needs to get leveled because I'm gonna put these guys in, just some retaining wall block, so that I stop the dirt from falling into my pad. Here's our next step. We have to put these up along here. I've leveled this with a big long level, so we're gonna put them in individually. We're gonna level them to each other, hammer them down, and then this will just retain our gravel. And I'm gonna make sure they're about 12 inches off of this front. Back rows in. All right, now that that's filled in, let's tackle this side. The wall's all laid out, so what I need to do now is pull the top 2 layers. I'm gonna glue everything back together, put it back out, and then we're done. All right, the base is all leveled. It's level front and side to side. I've done a little bit of backfill back here, but most of that's gonna probably have to wait until this block dries. I think our next thing is gonna be going to get the material for the shed itself. I'm gonna do a wood skid for this. After buying all of this block and pricing out all the wood for the wood skid, I really wish that I would have just poured a concrete pad because it would have been cheaper and better long term, but I got what I got, so I'm not gonna complain, and it's too cold now to pour concrete, at least for me. So we'll get some material and then we'll be back on the pad. Okay, so this pad is looking a little bit different than when you last saw it. I discovered that Dad had a whole bunch of old patio blocks sitting around, piled up in the back corner. So I grabbed those, threw them down over top, threw some gravel in, and gave it a big compaction. So now I don't think my shed's going anywhere. It has about 4 inches of gravel and about 2.5 inches of concrete block over top of it. So I don't think it's moving. Now, I didn't film any of that. I just leveled them one by one and then filled in between with a whole bunch of leftovers. Next episode, we'll start the framing of the shed. It'll go quick, so we'll see you next time.